Hey everybody, the Britical Saiyans here. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Matt.
We got a ban list update.
Yeah,
Set 21.
we are very late to cover this, so apologies for that. But we are here now for it,
Yeah.
so we can give our take on the ban list. Now, this has gone from your average type of ban list that he will do to, hang on, let me just get the shotgun and just blow these cards apart.
Yeah, they banned an entire colour from one set. Because, yeah, set 18 has lost both red decks.
Yeah, they finally decided to put the hammer onto the Gogeta leader deck thing and the Sin Shenron. So, literally, the reason for banning these, as I say, they're just overwhelming presence in the metagame, which is true. Since their release, they were the two red decks, and if you wanted to compete at a higher level, that's what you're running.
Yeah.
Like, you were running one of these two decks, simple as. If you really wanted to go high end, those were the two decks that you chose, and that was because both those decks were so overtuned that they just had too much utility. They can do everything at a high capacity. They can generate the Z energy, they can get hand advantage, they can put big things out for cheap and fast, and it's just...
Yeah, you never really had a bad turn or a bad starting hand for these decks.
No. They were just too overtuned. So it is about time that they went to try and give other red decks a chance to shine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason they're basically gone. Then they've decided to get rid of the Gogeta Triumph Together. Just in case you guys aren't aware of what that one actually is, it is the basically pay for, bring it out as a fusion for the Gogeta deck. It's the win con of the deck where it's just like, I will just kill your board and then smack you and you have a super combo. No, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
To basically sum it up.
But they've only banned it because of the Shenron Secret Rare. They don't want people to run it in that deck as like, oh look, I'll just revive this and have a board wipe.
Yeah, it meant that every deck had access to this card.
Yeah. They could have... I feel like they could have also limited the Sin Shenron SR that came in the set, because that's just going in red decks.
Yes. Yeah, that's just...
So that could have had a limit put on it.
That could have been either banned, like the Gogeta, or, like Joe said, just put it to 1 or something like that. But even then, that's a good card to target with the Shenron Secret Rare as well. So, that could be the next thing that gets hit.
More than likely.
Another band leader, they finally hit Gamma.
Yeah. That needed hitting, because...
the deck is just... like the other two, it's been around for too long. It means that running other blue decks...
More happen.
Well, while it was around, there was just not really much point, because Android decks just have such good cards.
Yeah.
And such utility. And getting 3 energy back of your choice at the end of every turn.
Yeah.
And you can bring out battle cards from your energy and then replace that energy. And then it has some really good floodgates.
You could run green in there because you had 18. So
yeah, it was a really good leader. But once it found its footing and it had the right support, that's when it really took off.
Yeah.
So it did take that tiny bit of time for it to get there, but as soon as it got there, it was just too good.
Yeah. You always saw it, and it's just like, okay, yeah, this needs something happening to it.
But yeah. The next ban card is Dirty Burst. Now, see, this is an interesting one because, yes, Dirty Burst is a blue card. Not every colour had access to this type of card. Yeah, it means that you're basically running blue if you didn't want to run any of the high-end red decks, basically. It was like one of those 3 colours, if just because of the fact that you the blue had the counter to those really over oppressive cards. So that's kind of one thing, but they could have easily just printed this type of card for every colour.
Yeah.
Instead of just having it for the one colour. So getting rid of it is fine in that sense. It does mean that now that you can play your bosses without going, oh, I'm against blue, are they going to dirty burst me?
Yeah. I think Dirty Burst took off more when they banned Trunks. And the kind of issue they're having at the moment is that blue has too much advantage.
Yes.
When you're building a deck and you're just looking at like playing cards with a leader, blue is like the first colour everyone thinks of because it has so much utility. It has energy untapping, it has cards that play out, that draw, that can untap energy as well. You've got a lot of things that can run in it, and anything that's multicolored with blue benefits from just having blue in the deck. So, blue as a whole, I think they need to try and take a couple sets to tone down whilst getting the other colours towards that sort of level, because blue just takes off no matter what. A blue deck will survive. It's like green, yellow and black that kind of bounce between who gets to have third place.
Yeah. I mean, there was the time when black was the over-dominating deck, but that was back during the Gogeta Xeno thing. That was understandable for black to have its time, because that deck was just nuts. But, I mean, yeah, green, in a sense, has had its time as well, because it back when, I mean, it was green-yellow, because it was a Cell deck, but still, it still counts, I suppose.
Well, yeah, like Cell Ultimate Deck was in the meta for a while.
Yeah, and then you had the Surge one, which was crazy. So yeah, other colours have had their time to shine, but it's the same principle. It gets to a point where you get 2 or 3 decks that are just too oppressive, and they need to go. And that just kind of just seems to be the way it goes. It's like they'll keep them around for a little bit, and then they'll go. They may have been around for too long, and they needed to go sooner, but it is what it is. They finally got rid of them. Let's hope some other red decks, and hopefully some other blue strategies will now come forward and actually have a chance to shine. But we'll only get to see that when the next set of tournaments start coming up.
Yeah.
The next part of this ban list is just a huge section of erratas. Because there's just a lot of errors, basically.
Yeah.
But the one that can stand out is this Zeno. The Zeno, it's... So, I'll just actually read out the paragraph that they put for the reasoning for this one. So, because I wasn't really too much aware of this card initially, until I actually saw this. So, as internally? Yeah.
Yeah.
It has internally improved to impact current and future God and universe-themed archetypes. A much stronger degree than anticipated. We are issuing an errata to this card to mitigate that concern while maintaining thematic integrity. So, the ultimate deck for Goku Black recently dropped. If that deck ever really came into the meta, this card without the errata was going to just nuke it. Like, simple as, because the whole deck is like indestructible and all that kind of stuff, and this gets rid of it because the pre-errata is when this card was played, you choose up to 12 of your opponent's battle cards with God or Universe in special traits, ignoring barrier, negate their indestructible skills, and remove them from the game. It single-handedly shut down the deck. Like, it's crazy. But another thing is it what was it? There was something else I saw about it. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, so the poster art is, when this card is played, you may choose 12 of your opponent's battle cards with God or Universe in a special race, ignoring barrier. If you do, negate their indestructible skills and remove them from the game. So, upon reading that, it doesn't seem like it's changed in a sense, because it says choose up to 12, and now it's saying you may choose 12. I
think it's saying that you have to pick 12.
Yeah. It's making it so it's more, you have to hit these targets. You have to hit this number.
They need a board presence for you to be able to use it, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's just not really a thing.
No.
Boards, as far as I can tell these days, they do not get wide enough for this type of thing. Especially not going back to your turn. If a board goes wide enough, you are probably dying that turn.
Yeah.
You know. But we'll see. Like, who knows? The card might still be a side deck card, depending if God decks take off, basically. Right. Now, the next thing is, just because of manufacturing, this is just crazy, because they've done this in the past, but not to this level of errata due to manufacturing errors.
It's not been this bad, but there's just been, as we've said whilst we've been going through cards, typos. Constant typos and things that aren't there. And it's like, we know what you mean. In some cases. In other cases, we're like, what the heck does this mean?
So they put, additionally, we would like to inform you that due to manufacturing issues, several cards in Zenkai Series 4 were printed using incorrect data, leading to,
typographical errors.
Yeah, that.
Typos.
Yeah, we apologise for the inconvenience. This issue may have caused, any issues this may have caused, and we are working to prevent similar situations from happening in the future. We are also considering solutions to reprint these cards for our players. All errata on this list are effective immediately. Official website will be updated, yada yada yada. Right.
They say about wanting to stop this from happening in the future. It's just proofreading. That is how you just go, hang on, let me change this quick. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
So some of these obviously have more impact than others. Some are just kind of obvious. Like, the first one is just saying for G, it's meant to be for GT. Simple as.
We knew that.
The next card, the Oob fusion of two spirits. So where is the post bar? So activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 5 or more ZNG, you choose up to 1 blue Oob battle cards with blue Mr. Boo under it and switch it to active mode. Now,
yeah, that was the issue. Is that beforehand it said choose one with blue Oobs under a Mr. Boo, but the Mr. Boos went under Oob most of the time.
Okay, it's just the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
We put this the wrong way. It's like, yep.
The errata for Cell, the greatest threat to mankind. Now, which card is that?
That's the lead card.
That's the leader card, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So when this card is placed in your leader area, you place up to 1 Ginger Town. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. From your deck into your opponent's battle area.
I think.
And then
the biggest change.
Where's the?
So you want the post errata, and the first change is that you must use green Android battle cards.
Okay.
Well, that does mean you can run green, yellow.
Because it doesn't say mono, does it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when this card is placed in your leader area, place up to 1 Ginger Town from your deck into your opponent's battle area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the same. And then I'm guessing the rest of it is pretty much the same. By looks of things.
Switch cards from this mode, place Android's bottom deck, draw 2, when you're 5 or less. With green cell, free play 17-18. Both green entries 2 from deck to opponent's area. Shuffle deck, add cards to have 5. Yeah, the rest of that's fine. It's just they changed it to have the
permanent.
Yeah.
Not sure. Okay, but I'm not sure how much of a difference it will make. I mean, it's probably just to stop doing blue-green
I think it's just stop
I know, because...
the inclusion of just generic green cards.
Oh,
Cause,
because you could still do blue-green, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can't. So, like, you could run a unison, but you wouldn't be able to run the charismatic villain. Or any other... Like, you couldn't run this Great Saiyan super combo.
Yeah. And then it's got... So what's the pre or after text? Oh, this is for the backside. Okay. Is it actually changed? When it's attached, draw one card, choose to one of your opponent's battle cards, and just 3 or less from your drop. Oh, right, yeah, it's the drop thing. Yeah, it's because of the drop thing before. Because when it comes out, draw one, choose to one of your opponent's battle cards, and she goes to 3 or less from your drop area or your opponent's battle area and place it under this card. When it's attached, draw one card, choose to one of your opponent's battle cards, and she goes to 3 or less from your drop or your opponent's battle area and place it under this card. There is some sort of... Doesn't look like it, but there is somewhere. Somewhere on there.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Because it says choose one of your opponent's battle cards from your drop. So it means choose one battle card, then goes 3 or less from your drop or your opponent's battle area.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was rereading that. I was like, I don't notice the difference, but then I realised you can't pick something from your opponent's drop that's yours.
Yeah.
So it's saying from your drop or your opponent's battle area. That's what it means.
Yeah. And next card is Cell Perfect Resurrection. So which one's this one? It's one of the Z leaders, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the poster art: activate battle. Once per turn, activate battle skill of one of your green extra cards with, from your hand with both Cell and Kamehameha there in his card name without paying the energy cost.
Yeah, beforehand it just said you activate skill of one, but it didn't say where it was from. So people are like, could you do it from drop? And it's like, yeah, no, they don't want that.
No. So what's on that? Android 16. The errata, if you lead a card is Son Gohan childhood, skills won't negate, can't be negated.
Yeah, they just reworded it.
Yeah.
It basically means the same thing, but...
The Goku showing results of training. So when this card is played under High Bar Time Chamber in your battle area, this card gains 10k.
Some of these are just, instead of played under, it's played from under.
Oh, it's got to play from under. Oh, right, okay.
Same as the Vegeta is from under.
So, yeah, it's... Yeah, okay. Something pretty simple then. Remove 2 markers.
By removing a token from your opponent.
Yeah, because it just says you or your opponent, and it's your or your opponents.
Yeah, so it stops because it's active main. It's like, oh well, I could do it to make my opponent remove 1, or my opponent remove 1, so active main during their turn. I think it's to try and stop that interaction because you have to choose the target.
Okay. The Hyperbolic Time Chamber.
Oh, that was the main one. It was like it said add up to 2 cards to your life.
And then it's now activate main once per turn. If all your energy is green and this card is in active mode, you may play 1 card from under this card. If you do, add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it's saying for you to take life, not just gain life.
Yeah. What's this? This is Goku, finishing blow. If you add 1 yellow Vegeta card, energy cost of 2 from your hand at the start of your main phase, play this card under a yellow Whis as the battle card.
From under.
Right, it's just one of those, is it?
Yep, missing a word.
And then I'm guessing that's the same for most of this then. So
a lot of it is just like we missed a word or we forgot to put this in.
So yeah, the main ones I think we have covered really.
Yeah.
If you want to dive into this a bit more, guys, then obviously you know where you can find this. But it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It's just a lot of typos. Like, a good chunk of it is just them going, oh, we misspelled. Oops.
Alright guys, so thank you very much for watching. Leave any thoughts you have in the comments below. Like, the biggest thing that I would love to hear from you guys is, like, what do you reckon to the hits on the actual things that have been banned?
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing to take away from this. And, well, the other main thing really as well is the some of the corrections do make a huge difference. So there is that. But yeah, so let us know below. Hit that sub button and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.